It's 10:59 on the 17th of October 2022, and to continue on with my documentary Sad Signs of the Times, my next upload is with regard to the failings and wrongdoings that I'm experiencing as a married property owner and mother. As I've mentioned throughout this documentary, there have been beneficiaries of my work that have conducted creative and intellectual theft, and only this morning I received this, and I'm wondering why the Garda Síochána would be issuing or putting these kind of documents at my door. I have state employment behind me. I have humanitarian work behind me. And as I've mentioned throughout my documentary, every 30 minutes is documented. So I'm really curious what the authorities are doing, putting this at my doorstep in accommodation where there's been breaking and entering, which they haven't addressed, and when there's been property theft and property fraud and trespass on my farms in Ardfort and Kilflynn, and the issue of the illegal care orders of TUSA, Child and Family Agency, and the harms caused to my child throughout the past 5 years, still unaddressed and still not resolved. So as an innocent mother that the state has benefited from the work of, as I keep reiterating, there are individuals taking credit for legislation of 2019. Since 2006, I've been with Narcotics Anonymous. I'm a recovery advocate for NA and women and children's rights, and society has benefited from that work. So I'm really curious, with my clean track record being slandered by individuals that have corrupted and frauded the system, living off my wealth and my work, I'm wondering, with the repercussions that they've been causing to faith and family in society, I'm wondering how these people are still being accommodated with this kind of documentation that isn't appropriate for my status, that is not being respected in a democracy. So Brexit has come about since 2018, since I started my work on that endeavour of helping society to progress, I suppose. Health and wealth recovery was the objective, and it was achieved. And that was after my child was unlawfully separated from me. Now, I've experienced doctors not doing their jobs properly, so that's another issue that doctors are taking exception to when they're kind of just negating or refuting or evading or avoiding their responsibilities to the oath that they took, while disrespecting the oath of my church. That they're also disrespecting with the matrimony of my husband and I, Richard McCalgat, and our child Garode. So there's fraud still going on. Guards have no business sending me these kind of documents. I'm recovering from cancer without treatment because of doctors that refused to treat it when it was a suspicion of mine. And there are people suffering from mental health issues that have been of offences against the Hippocratic Oath that are still offending me. And the state, as I've said, owes me debt in many respects. I don't just think monetarily, but there are obligations to my name, title, property, child, family, faith, etc. My work has helped people progress in society, and this is a problem now on this day. I don't open correspondence simply because I don't have to with the offences that have been occurring, and there haven't been obligations fulfilled, and there have been harms in society caused by individuals of harmful developments that have risked people's well-being, and that has disrespected my work, and that has disrespected recovery. So it's been worldwide. Narcotics Anonymous is worldwide as well, and I'm a recovery advocate. And this issue is getting quite serious when people aren't doing their jobs properly and disrespecting the job that I've done. So I'd appreciate it if the relevant humanitarians out there that are aware of my circumstances would raise the concern about liabilities in County Kerry that are still functioning fraud and falsehoods in society to the detriment of people's well-being. They have already cost people casualties, and I live on my own. my property in Ardfert and Kilflynn is being trespassed upon, and there are people claiming ownership of property they don't own, and there are people enacting illegalities about my marital status that I have not condoned or that I don't consent to. So would the government kindly address the very serious wrongdoings that disrespect the democracy, and would the Brexiteers out there kindly cast their minds back to 2018, 2019, when I commenced my humanitarian work in that particular area, when constitutional wrongdoings came to the fore that I was experiencing needlessly and unnecessarily by those people that have been of liable since 2006, disrespecting my good name and claiming authority about a position that they really aren't equipped to be discussing, not even to mention enforcing anything where they're not even qualified to be discussing matters at all. So there's been defamation as well. And I'd appreciate the issue of TUSLA that have an unlawful care order since 2017, reminding themselves about the casualties and harms that have been caused as a consequence of that, through no fault of the culprits. I am baffled as a teacher, as a humanitarian and as a pacifist that these people are still striving onto property where they simply have just caused so much disrespect and damage. So as I've said, the authorities are aware of my work that has saved people and helped people and progressed people, and this documentation, there's a problem again. So it's a sad sign of the times when people can't pay their debts and dues, and those that are falsifying anything or negotiating themselves in any precarious way, I'm really concerned for your futures. As I've said, there's been really very serious harms caused in this society due to the land grab of my farms in Ardfert and Kilflynn and this issue of unlawful care orders of my beautiful child. So he's been upset as well, and the guards are aware of that. And not any of this matter has been addressed with me personally, and there have been people speaking out of place. And as I've worked for 3 state departments with a clean track record, those that are slandering my clean track record, with the work that I've done for society and the country, beggars belief. But this is what's happening still since 2006. I suppose that's as much as I need to say this morning. There's property theft and fraud, creative intellectual theft and fraud, and there's a child missing from my care that has been suffering needlessly, and there are people hoping to prosper from my property after causing awful problems. So I'm worried about the mental health, and any mental health practitioners or any GPs out there that are repeating offences against me that haven't treated my cancer. I'd like to remind you of NEFET and COVID-19.